All right, guys, I'm Tommy Nichols here with the Moms for Liberty. It's a new organization here in Santa Rosa County, but they are a national group, correct?
Yeah, we're a chapter of the national group.
Okay, all right. Now, we got a couple members here with us today. Guys, please introduce yourselves.
Hello, my name is Clara Regelman. I am the Vice Chair of Moms for Liberty in the Santa Rosa chapter.
Nice to meet you, ma'am.
Thank you.
And I'm Maria Calkins. I'm a chairwoman of Moms for Liberty, Santa Rosa County chapter.
Thank you.
Brenda Stevens, I'm the treasurer for Moms for Liberty in Santa Rosa chapter.
Thank you.
And I'm Angie Strawn. I'm the interim secretary for Moms for Liberty of Santa Rosa chapter.
Good stuff, good stuff. All right, now, since we got all the introductions out of the way, now we can start jumping into some things. All right, first off, Moms for Liberty. What is it?
Well, Moms for Liberty, it's a national organization. It started in January of 2021, and now it's rapidly growing. So far, there are over 275 chapters in 45 states.
Wow.
And we are a newly formed chapter in Santa Rosa County. We got formed on March 30th of this year. And ever since, we've been growing so fast. We have a lot of members, parents, community advocates, and in fact, a lot of employees of our school district that joining our chapter and collaborating with Moms for Liberty for the sake of the future of our children.
Good stuff right there. Now, the membership, can anyone be a member, or do you have to be a mom? For example, I know because it says Moms for Liberty, so can a dad be a member of the group?
We actually have a lot of dads.
Okay.
We have a lot of dads, we have grandparents, we have uncle, aunts, and we have a lot of people that just want to join our chapter.
Right.
If they share our values, if they share our platform, everybody's welcome.
Good stuff, good stuff. Now, if I wanted to join, how would I go about doing that?
Well, you would just have to come to our meetings, and we would have to just introduce each other and get to know you better. And
Right.
it would be 3 meetings according to our bylaws. You have to attend, and then we'll make a decision if you would be a proactive member of our
Okay.
chapter.
Oh, so that's fair right there. And I like that. You actually got to go to some members. You don't just sign up and you're automatically in. Get to vet them a little bit first. That way,
Right.
because
Right.
from the work I've seen that you guys do, you need to know who is definitely in
Exactly.
your group. Because if you just let anyone in, then yeah, that could be some bad news right there.
Mhm.
So, all right. A little bit of local stuff that you guys have already got into. You're a brand new organization. So have you guys already started doing anything around here?
Oh,
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Oh,
We're
wow.
already making waves.
Right. Every day it's something new. Every day we have some different events or interviews like today we're participating in. And we're certainly working. We do a lot of work. Our beautiful ladies and gentlemen, we have committees that researching, investigating a lot of materials in our school district.
Okay.
And just today, in fact, we were interviewed by Channel 3 News, and we presented 65 of those bad pornographic findings in our school district. Also, we've been filling in and going with the process that a school district guides us to do, which is very lengthy. It's not a layer of bureaucracy, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Our school district, we presented to them on May 16th at the school board. We basically showed the school board and the superintendent those 65 books and their location.
Okay.
Mhm.
Now, I got to ask, when you showed it to them, what was the response to that?
And here's why I'm saying another layer of bureaucracy.
Gotcha.
Their response was to fill in lengthy forms for each book. So we started doing this process because our main goal is to remove pornography from our schools, because they absolutely horrible books.
Right.
It's very, very dark. So we filled in those 6 forms. So far we filled in 6, and for us to fill in like 3 books at the time, it's a long process.
That's it.
So this morning we received a response from Ruth Witter, who is instructional technology specialist. She responded that now we have to set up meetings for each book with media specialists in that specific school.
Yes.
Wow.
So that would take us
Forever.
many months
Forever,
to
yeah.
do that.
And that's the point of it.
And
right
that's
there.
the point, that
Uh-huh.
they're trying to postpone the
Yep.
process, add more bureaucracy. And for us, it's very disappointing.
Yeah.
And quite honestly, it's shocking. Because if you would see this, Tommy, ladies review the materials,
Oh, yeah.
it's shocking. It's
It's
terrible.
sad.
And it is pornographic. And any adult who would
Mhm.
see that would instantly raise an alarm that we have to remove them immediately.
Right.
Especially after our beautiful ladies work so hard to find those books
Mhm.
and to locate them in specific libraries. Basically, we did all the job for the school district.
Yeah.
All they need to do, just take them off the shelves. But they don't do
Exactly.
that.
No, there's going to be a process. You know, they want to drag it
Mhm.
out.
We presented an entire list with all the books listed and their locations. But then now we have to come back and comply with the bureaucracy or the forms for each of those books. So just the initial research was 65 books.
Right.
Oh,
So
that's
there's-
just the tip of the iceberg.
And there's way more. So you're talking, we've done a few.
Right.
And then if you have a huge application that you have to fill out to go through the process. And for each of those, just the few that we found at the beginning, 65, and there's surely way more than that.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
think so anyway.
Now, I gotta ask, when you say pornographic, I'm not gonna ask you to explain, but is it like on the level of adult entertainment pornographic, or is it just like a romantic novel type?
No, it's
No.
kind of, yeah, it's very dark.
Yeah.
Okay.
It describes a very dark, like researching school district libraries. We felt like we were researching dark web. That
Yeah.
those kind of things like child pornography, incest, pedophilia, all kind of very, very dark subjects that when we saw that, it's our hearts are breaking again.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
going through this.
Instruction.
And you know,
how to-
one of the things that I
Pictures.
believe is
Contain
important.
pictures.
I'm sorry.
Some of those books contain pictures.
And
Mhm,
instructions on
right.
how to carry out
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
very perverse acts.
Mm-hmm.
As in schools as
sick.
young as the elementary.
Yeah.
Right.
That was my next question. What were the range, age ranges? So that goes all the way down to our
Few.
children.
That's right. And this is what is dangerous. I mean, we're talking about babies,
Yeah,
Mhm.
preschool.
yeah.
Hello.
Right.
How you're going to start, what kind of society you want to develop in this country when you started with this kind of vocabulary
Right.
and all focus on porno
hmm
and not teaching history,
Right.
math, science to be successful in our country.
Exactly.
So
Right,
what is the motive for them to stop us to take
Mm-hmm.
those trash book? Because
Right.
this is trash.
Right,
They are.
It is
right.
trash. It's trash.
Yeah.
You know.
Mm-hmm.
And we know this is that happened a long time ago. This is not for the last 2 years.
Right.
They're being sneaky. And you know what? Because parents, we are so busy with our own life to try to make a living.
Right.
We let the teacher and the school decide,
There
and
you
now
go.
we are in this situation where we have to get
Mm-hmm.
all together, as parents,
Yep.
get together and be responsible for their own children.
Yeah, absolutely.
And in our community, well, we're working on each other.
Yeah.
So, what? This is one of the best countries in the world.
Absolutely.
right.
And we're getting down in every way that you can see. And education is the first one.
Yeah.
If you don't have education, you don't have a
That's
country.
your base right there. Your
Exactly.
education is like building a house.
Yeah.
You have to start with the foundation. Your
Absolutely.
education is your foundation. You don't have a solid foundation, what's the rest of the structure going to be like?
Exactly.
So you target the education, you destroy that.
And
then
Respect.
Exactly.
Right.
You remove
Respect for your
respect.
teacher, respect for your parents, for your country, your flag,
Right.
first responders.
Yeah,
What are
absolutely.
values of the society are? Where are going? Where are we going with this?
Right.
Exactly.
I don't think so. It's going to be good.
No,
We
absolutely
need to
not.
stop that.
And that's their goal right there. And that's the scary part. Like you guys said, they're slowly putting this stuff in there so nobody will notice. If you went in and put 1,000 of them at a time, everybody would notice it. 1, 2, 3 here, nobody's going to pick up on that.
Mhm.
And like you said, parents are too busy working, trying to provide for
Exactly,
their family. They're
exactly.
putting their trust in these teachers and our administrators to do the right thing. And then sadly, a lot of them aren't.
Mhm.
Now, there are some great teachers and administrators, I know plenty of them, and they try to do the right things, but what about the few that we don't know about that aren't, that have their own agenda or trying to push another form of agenda? Those are the ones that really can cause a lot of damage right there.
Exactly, and that's
Especially when they
another,
get in positions of power.
another thing that school district is using that not a lot of parents complain. But a lot of parents, those parents, they don't know.
Exactly.
So
They
we're
just,
gonna raise some awareness. Yeah.
we did not know. When we started our chapter, we thought we're gonna be watchdogs for our public education.
Right.
And we thought we're gonna be just watching that no bad material is gonna slip in our district.
Right.
But sure enough, we found so much bad pornographic materials that it's just
And see,
shocking.
and that's the thing, most people that live here, we think, oh, we're a strong conservative community, that stuff doesn't happen
Right.
here, that's in Washington, that's in Chicago and all that, no.
Right.
That's literally happening in our
It's
county right
not
here.
woke
The
San
most
Francisco, it's right
conservative,
here.
the most conservative part of the state of Florida, this is going on,
Right.
that is what's scary. So if it's going on in the most conservative part of the state, good Lord knows what's going on in Miami and
Yes.
Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Wow,
And
that's,
even outside of our state.
yeah,
Nationwide.
Right. In
Yeah.
California, think about that.
yeah,
And you know, when we did our networking with Moms for Liberty throughout the state, a lot of women, they joined this fight because they lost the fight with their children. Because some of those children would transition, they realized the bad mistakes they made, and they want to return, they want to take their life back.
Mhm.
But right now, their bodies and spirits are broken.
Yeah.
They cannot have children anymore because of the surgical procedures and the social transition at school happening all over the place.
yeah.
This is a very, very scary and dangerous movement
Yes.
that is raging throughout our country and targeting specifically school districts.
Yeah, and they're targeting what is infuriating. They're targeting us, our weakest, most vulnerable.
Yes,
ones in
that's
society.
exactly
They're going
what it
after
is.
adults, people like us. They're going after the ones whose minds are still growing and developing. If you get to them early enough, you can warp them and mold them the way you want, like teachers normally do. Okay, in a good way, like we were taught and molded the right way. You go in and start doing this at a young age. When the time they're high schoolers, it's game over. Their mind's set.
Right.
And nothing's going to change until 10, 15 years down the road when they see, oh, good grief, I've been wasting my time. And sadly, I hate to get political with this part, but if you go back and you look at it, a lot of people when they're growing up lean to the left until they get a little bit older. Then they realize, oh,
Right.
wow, I was looking at things the wrong way. Then they come over to the right
Right.
side. But what if the damage has already been done by the time
Right.
you've already realized that and you transition over? So,
Exactly. And teenagers, that dangerous time
yes.
of the childhood, the youth, and
Right.
they can make horrible mistakes. At
Yes.
that time, it's very important to have good adult guidance into purity, into something good. And education should be about education
Yes.
and not indoctrination.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, now I was given a couple little questions. I showed them to you guys before we got going, so you know what we could talk about and everything. One of the questions was, Maria, I gotta ask you, your children go to a private school.
Mm-hmm.
All right, why don't they go to a public school?
Well, and that's one of the left attacks we're receiving with Moms for Liberty. That a lot of us, we don't trust public school system.
Right.
It's full of pornography. I mean, why would I give my beautiful children to the school district that I don't trust yet?
Right,
But there is many children, I care about them.
right,
Our ladies care about those children.
Absolutely.
This is the future of our country. If we don't do nothing right now, in 30, 40 years from now, we will not recognize America.
absolutely.
It will be a different place.
I agree.
And that's why we advocating. And some of our members, they grandparents, they aunts, they godmothers. We have a lot of people that concerned about the future of our country because that's our children, the future of our country.
Absolutely.
So that's why my daughter, she goes to Christian school.
Right.
And I want her to be taught math and reading and writing and Christian values. It's
Understand.
important for me.
I understand completely. Yeah, I get it.
However, and I'm sorry, however,
Yeah, go
I
ahead.
read an article, I can't remember the name of the article, but they were talking also that this virus, okay, the pornography books is also in private schools.
Wow.
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm.
So you have to be careful too. You have to read it. It's not just
Yes.
looking at it. Just try to read. The parents need to be involved in the education
Exactly.
Exactly.
of the kids.
Certainly, and well, the public school, they're being paid by our taxpayers' money. So
Exactly.
even if you have no kids in the school
Yes.
system, you can advocate because that's your taxpayers' money. And if you want to spend your taxpayers' money on good books for kids that will actually educate them and not sexualize them,
Exactly.
then you can go ahead and advocate.
Right, and that's one of the things that I agree completely with. You know, their job is to prepare our students and our youth to be productive members of society. Okay,
Right.
not to indoctrinate and force an agenda down their throat.
Right.
And the whole sexuality stuff and all that, to me, that's a parent's duty right there. Okay, if you want to deal with that, let the parent give the first option. Now, of course, sex ed and stuff like that, that's different. But when you try to force a view on somebody to think this is okay, this is not okay, I've got a problem with that. Okay, so prepare our kids, make them ready for society, to be able to benefit in society and provide. You know, not indoctrinate. Good Lord, please no. We got
And you know, it's
Enough of
too
that.
about protecting the innocence of the children.
Yes,
You know what I'm
bingo.
saying?
Yes.
Protect the innocence of the children.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Now, one of the other ones that somebody brought up, how do you guys come across this stuff, if you don't mind me asking? I know you don't want to give away, you know, your inside secrets
And that's
everything,
exactly what I mentioned, that since we started our chapter, our membership is growing tremendously.
Yes.
And a lot of those members would like to stay anonymous.
but absolutely.
Because we exchange information. A lot of those members, they are employed by our school district. So that's how we able to expose a lot of bad things that's going on, because those people who being employed by the school district, they fully agree with us. They love children. That's why they chose this profession in the first place,
Absolutely.
because they love children. And now with everything that's going on, they just as passionate as we are to fight for those little kids.
And that's one of the things that I've come across. I've ran into a lot of teachers that they can't stand what's going on, but they're scared to speak up.
Right,
And
exactly.
I've had several of them tell me that if I see this, I know this, but if I say something, I can't afford to lose my job.
Well, please share our
Exactly.
contacts. 'Cause
Yeah.
we welcome everybody
Well,
here.
now, before I didn't have anything like that. All
And
you can
we
do
keep
is tell them.
everybody anonymous, so
Okay.
we protecting our members.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
so, guys, anybody that's watching this, I want you to say that one more time. So, if there's anybody that's watching this and maybe
That's
a
right.
member of the schools, you know this is going on and you think it's wrong and you want to do something about it,
Right.
tell them
Please,
how they
welcome
can get a
aboard.
hold of you. So they just reach out to you and say, hey, let's meet. Or,
Right. And my phone number is on our chapter page. You can go to momsforliberty.org/Santa Rosa County, and you will be able to see our contacts. You can email, and our emails, they stay private, and nobody will get those. And also my phone numbers.
And that's a big thing right there, because like I said, a lot of people beforehand, all I could tell them was try to speak out some
Right.
way. But now you have an outlet to safely do it and not have to worry about losing your job, and you're also standing up for what's right at the
Right.
same time. Now, this long process after you've discovered all these books and everything to get them pulled out of schools, what's the end goal is, of course, to remove them. And the only thing that I'm concerned about is once you remove them, they know that, hey guys, they're on to us now. You know what I mean? So it's going to be a lot harder to then go in and find more. So I hope you guys have got a backup plan in some ways. You know what I mean?
It certainly would be hard for them to hide everything in the darkness, because we put so much light on those dark corners. And we need to continue doing what we do. We need to be proactive.
Right.
And once we reach our goal and they will remove those materials, I hope they will do, because currently, right now, already there is a law, there is a statute, 847.012, that basically prohibits any adults to show, spread, sell, rent pornographic materials, which are books included, and pictures as well. So currently this statute is being violated. And just today, we responded to the school district, kind of showing the statute. If they don't know that statute, please read, because currently you're violating the statute. Whoever is responsible for keeping those books and keeping them circulating, and especially those books that we presented to them, they violated the statute, and that needs to be addressed.
Right. Now, did you go from the school board? The whole board were they present when you done this, or was it just?
Yes.
Yes.
Now, were they aware that this stuff was in there, or did they act as they had no clue?
Ladies, what will you say? It's hard to tell.
This is
Hard to
important right
tell.
here.
Well, currently, I would say at first, the first meeting, they said we did not know. We took that answer, even though it's still a lot of ignorance, because when you're in a position like that, you should know.
Exactly.
This
yeah.
hasn't been going on for just a day or two. It's been going on for quite some time.
Right.
And pornography in schools has been going on throughout our country. So just knowing, I assume some of them at least watch the news, and they would know what's going on, why Moms for Liberty is growing so fast. Okay, we gave them a benefit of the doubt at the first meeting. But the second meeting, when we brought even more findings, that was, you can already see a little bit kind of on a defense, resistance, pushback. They prepared some answers for our ladies. They prepared some employees that was protecting some really, that's another thing that we can talk about, is some really, really bad links on the school website. And we can say, as an example, Gulf Breeze Middle School, Miss Angie was talking about that. You want to?
Oh, yeah. So if you go to the Santa Rosa schools.org website and click on Gulf Breeze Middle School and their media library link. And on that link, that school, you're still on the middle school webpage now. There's a link that's called Follett Academy, I think. Destiny, that's right. And so you click on it. Now at that time, I believe I am off the website by this point. Then there's this.
You're off the website after you click on IPL.
Oh, that's
it's the
right.
Internet Public Library,
That's
and
right.
then it leads you. So this link is on the school website, IPL, and then you click on that, and then it leads you to
Frequently asked embarrassing questions.
Go
And
Ask
then if you
Alice.
click- yeah, and then if you click on that, you get to this thing called Go Ask Alice. Well, about the only thing I'm gonna really say about Go Ask Alice is there's lots of choices of frequently asked questions.
Right.
And the only one I'm gonna say is the one that talked about male sex toys or sex toys for men. It's the topic.
That's
There
the
were some
slightest
other
topic.
disturbing topics that you could click on, Tommy, and you could actually read this stuff, and you were like shocked because you know the kids.
And
If
this
they're-
is on there now.
Yes.
Yes.
The
It's on
link to
there now.
get to it.
The link.
The link
But still, it doesn't matter. The link, it's a link leading to this.
Right.
Yes.
Link leading to it.
Sure.
Yeah.
So, but what happens, their reply will be that if you were in the school, on
On
the
their
school, it will block you, right?
Right.
So you
yeah.
can't
It
go any
firewalls you.
farther. But if you're at home or
Right.
other
You're
places
free.
that you feel you're in a safe place,
Outside
you're in
the
the
network.
school,
Right.
but in the school,
They're trying to cover their rear end. Is what they're
yeah,
doing.
in that link leads you somewhere. So my question was, as a school, why do you have to have another link?
Right.
If
Right.
they're on your library, why
Yes.
should there be a link to an external place?
Right.
And that wasn't answer. He said we'll meet another time to discuss that. So no answer was fully given there. But
Right.
if you're in the school, at the school
It'll
building,
block it.
they say
Right.
it will be blocked. But at home, unless you have those other
Oh, no,
checkpoints.
wherever.
But
So-
still, you
Yeah.
started the path
Yes.
at the school.
At the
Exactly.
school
That's
website.
right.
That's learned of.
Isn't there a way to stop it?
And that's what I tried to ask him after the school board meeting during our break, and then after it was over. You know, why do we have to have that link there?
Yeah.
And he never gave me an answer. Well, you can't get to it if you're on a school device at your house, and you can't get to it if you're on the school website
Well,
or at the school on the school Wi-Fi. I'm sorry.
to me, that is very disturbing because the thing is you're an elected official. Okay, you're being paid by us. Your job is to protect our children, and in my opinion, you should know everything that's going on as much as possible in those schools.
Right.
And if somebody comes to you and tells you this, I don't care if it's true or not, or if you think it's bogus bullcrap, something that extreme right there, I'm stopping right then and there and saying, hang on, let me look more into this right now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right
and then,
now.
And then I would stop whatever I'm doing immediately and go in and look into something of that nature, because that is very serious. You don't sit there and throw out, well, talk to this person right now. No, bullcrap. You're the elected official.
Right.
You're the one that's got to answer for all this. So you need to be the one doing it. Don't be throwing people, well, this, and no. Get off your rear end, do your job, go pull this crap. And a good, the school board members can mad at me if they want, I don't care, but if a good member would have looked at the superintendent and said, if this is going on, I don't care, and we find out it's on, those books need to go now. Not say,
Right.
well, let's look into it,
Exactly.
because the longer it takes to
Right.
look into it, that's more time, the more kids are exposed to that. And what's going to happen, as soon as these kids realize, oh, this stuff's on there, what are they going to do?
Exactly.
Exactly. You're
Exactly.
absolutely right. They
You're
spread
right.
information. That go
Exactly.
Alice option. So the school employee, which is also paid by our taxpayers' money, was defending that, saying basically, well, it's firewalls, you're on the school property. However, when you at home, so if their suggestion is for us as parents to get a firewall in our home so our kids will be protected from the school website, that's absolutely ridiculous.
But if it wasn't on the dadgum website, there would be no need
Exactly,
for the
right.
just
parents to do that.
remove it.
Just
And they,
take the link off. Don't have that link there.
Right, exactly.
and
Now,
some of them was even mentioning, I think, that there's a lot of bad stuff going on the internet.
Oh,
We
yeah,
know that,
yeah.
but not on the school website,
Exactly.
paid by our taxpayers'
Right,
money.
right,
Just
bingo.
remove the link.
Yeah.
That's all they have to answer to us. Like, but-
Exactly. A good person, a good elected official would have said that very thing right there. If this is on there, I'm going to go home right now, and I'm going to, well, first I'm going to go to the school and try to pull it up. If it leads there, I'm going to go home, see if I can find it. If it does, I'm going to do all I can right now to get this up there now.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah,
I'll
I
sit there-
would, now, you don't understand, during the meeting, during the board meeting, the official did access it while we were
Okay.
there at the school board. So he could trace it, and he knew exactly where it went.
So he pulled it up
Because
right then and
yeah,
there.
he
So
got-
right then and there, he should have said, here it is right here. We need to shut this site down until this is
Right.
removed now.
right,
Yeah.
exactly.
One of the things they say to the school board is that the school board officials, they have more power in the school board, in the
Yes.
school district,
Yeah.
than the president of the United States of America. They can do it
Right.
like
Amen.
this.
Exactly.
They don't want it.
That's
They
right.
have
I'm
something
telling you,
behind
yes.
that very deep.
Right.
Okay?
If
And
I
we need to
were-
find
right.
out, because we are going to fight this.
Well,
Yes.
For our kids,
Yes.
for our nation.
That's
You know,
right. That's so true.
And what's scary is I've been involved. I ran a lot of school board campaigns, managed a lot of campaign candidates and everything. So I've seen a lot of the behind the scenes stuff. And what's scary is all the money that flows into these events and these races and all this, and where it's coming from. A lot of that money, you don't know who's behind it and what their agenda is. And anybody that's been in politics, Maria, I'm sure you know better than most that if somebody's throwing out a lot of money, there's a reason why they're doing it, and they're expecting something. And a good candidate would kick it back, say, I don't care, keep it to yourself. But we don't have a lot of good candidates all the time, and they'll do anything for money, and then they get in there. They're going to pay that debt back some way, somehow, and they want you to push these books into your schools right here. There they are. There's a way in. There's always a way in. So we need to find out how that way in was established and put some explosives on it and get rid of it.
Exactly.
Because, good grief, that is very concerning right there. Because, like we're talking, I hate even talking about it right now because we're giving more exposure to it, and then more kids that see this that don't know about it. That's what worried me. They're gonna see this like, oh, there's pornography in school. They're gonna go start looking for it. So, parents, if you're watching this, for the love of God above, start watching your kids, what they're bringing home, and reading their books, and being a parent, okay? I'm not knocking you guys at all, so please don't think that, but be as involved as possible. That's all, okay? Now,
Time
I didn't mean
to
to take you guys' time up by saying that, but it needed to be said.
Right.
Now, schools locally, can you give us any schools where this stuff's in? particularly?
Well, let's start with Shamakala Elementary School, the closest one to here, and that's their little children we're talking about. And that Shamakala Elementary, Rhodes Elementary, they have books promoting transgenderism, and their middle schools all over. I can tell you every single school in the district. Pace High School, many bad books. Milton. Right, Navarre, Gulf Breeze Middle School, plenty of books.
Oh, yeah.
What about the elementary schools? Is there a lot? Is there more? Is it all of them, or a lot of them, or just one or two?
Elementary schools, mostly the ones which promote transgenderism, I would say.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's a book, Marvin, Is He a Girl? And it basically describes a little boy who wants to become a little girl and start wearing girls' dresses, and wants to go in the girls' bathroom to see what they think. And, you know, being a mother of elementary school age, I can say kids, they have a lot of imagination.
Right.
They love to play.
Yeah.
They can pretend being a cat or a princess or whatever. And if you start telling them, hey, you can be a boy, they will start thinking about it. They can start pretending, and it can go deeper into that. And that's when we talk about indoctrinating children.
Yeah.
This is an indoctrination as it is. And it's in our Shamakla Elementary. Tommy, your niece goes there.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Those are our children. We are very passionate about stopping this evil movement interjecting our schools.
See, and that's the other thing right there. If you would have said this is in our schools, I guarantee you most people would have said, yeah, probably down in the South End, you know, because
Right.
a lot of folks up here look at the South, and that's the liberal side down there. I'm not saying it is, guys. I'm just saying I'm just saying a lot of folks, that's how they've always looked at it.
Conservatives in South End
Yeah.
as well.
But they would, if you'd have said that to somebody up here, they would have never thought that it was in Shamakla Elementary School.
Exactly. It's not Woke San Francisco. It's Shamakla Elementary School.
Yeah.
And that's what we're talking about. We have to open our eyes, just like you just stated, to all the parents. Please get on board.
Yes.
Because we are fighting some evil forces that are here in our home, and we need to do something about it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and it's sad because so many good people go, so many good teachers, administration, everything, they're being used and manipulated by somebody that's not even around. They're hiding behind the scenes, just forcing them to force an agenda and put this stuff out there for our kids just to soak up like sponges. And that's what they are. Their brains are like sponges at this age
Exactly.
right there. And it's, if they can get it in their head at this age right here, by the time they're in middle school, high school, it's going to be that much easier to keep pushing that view on them. By the time they're in college, they're totally acceptable and it's perfectly normal and fine to them. And then what's
Exactly.
next?
And I can tell you, just recently, Woodlawn Beach Middle School, Miss Brenda was presenting the subject at the last school board meeting. There was a yearbook that was issued that basically says diversity. Out of all things, the yearbook would say diversity and having rainbow colors behind the words. And that's another thing, that why can't we put something patriotic on our yearbooks?
Right.
You know, that's something that they will keep forever. It will be their memory.
Exactly, yeah.
Why would push this ideologies?
Right.
You know?
Promoting the, yeah.
You know, and that's the infuriating thing. I have no problem at all with adults that want to do this and live. Well, if you're gay, trans, whatever, you're an adult. Do what you want. I
Right,
don't care.
Right.
Absolutely.
But
Of
don't
course.
force your views on our children, our youth. And I'm the same way. If they come to me and say, I'm this, I'm trans, I'm gay, I'm whatever, don't push your ideas on my kids. No, I'm not going to.
Yeah, we respect that.
Exactly.
So
That's
respect our
return
side
the
too.
favor. Yes.
So this is part of the diversity, right?
Right.
Respect.
Mhm.
So
Absolutely.
why is that indoctrinating the kids with that?
Well, and the thing
Exactly.
is,
That's no
the
respect.
big problem is that I've seen a lot of is there's so many out there that think the way that we think, but they're scared to say anything. Regular parents, because they don't want to be seen as a bigot, as a
Right.
racist, as this, that, and the other, because they know if they say something against it, people are going to turn on them and start calling them names, start canceling them or whatever you want to call it. And a lot of people fear that, but that's the problem. You got to stop worrying about what people say.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Until people start standing up to these people, it's going to continue. Because the more
Exactly.
you lay down and let this happen, they're going to sit there and say, all we got to do is put a little pressure on, they're going to fold. But if you stand up and you fight back,
And
They're
that's
still
why
stopped.
Moms to Liberty is the fastest growing organization, because we made out of parents.
Right.
And who are the most passionate category of people? The parents, because
Look at
we
Virginia.
love our kids.
Right.
And we don't care what they think of us. We're fighting for our children, for their future. And that's why we're so quickly growing, because those parents that find those things, they approach Moms for Liberty and our advocates, and they are passionate.
Yeah.
We just posted recently on our Facebook group, we posted the pictures from one of the books from the Bar High School called Zara's Paradise.
Zara's Paradise.
Yeah.
Zara's Paradise. We posted some graphics from that book, and it's just in our schools, and it's horrible. But parents already start responding. When is your next meeting? We coming.
Good, good.
They getting
Absolutely.
passionate, proactive about it.
Good, very good. And see, you said something, you know, the ones that are the most passionate, ones that stand up are the parents. Look at Virginia. That literally flipped that state right there in the
Mhm.
governor's race. The
Right.
parents had enough and they stood up.
That's
So
right.
don't tell me it's not possible. When
That's
somebody
right.
stands up and takes a stand against it, once they've had enough, anything can happen. They proved it up there, okay?
Exactly.
So if they can do that there, and what was a liberal state, if enough parents stand up to this right here, this can be stopped as well.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta stand up, you gotta get involved, you gotta pay attention to what
Yes.
your kids are doing. Stop throwing an iPhone at them, stop throwing an iPad at them, ask them questions, talk to your kids for the Lord's sake. Get involved in their life, find out where their head's at, and look at whatever they're bringing home. My goodness. See, I went to the library today, got some books. Cool. Will you read them? Let me check them out.
Right.
How hard is that? You know,
Mhm.
it's not. Now, if a regular parent that's not a part of your group, they come across something, they're able to contact you and bring it to
Absolutely.
you as
And
well,
we'll be
right?
happy.
Okay, so
We'll be happy to. And if they
okay.
want to stay anonymous, they can do that as well.
Okay, good. All right. Now, is there anything else that we need to hit on that's important that you guys think needs to get out there?
Well, we just want to encourage everybody to be proactive, join our group, join the fight, join our team, and we will be fighting for our kids. Like Miss Brenda said, we're not going to stop.
Absolutely.
Our children's future is at stake, and
Yes.
our country's future is at stake.
Okay.
So we're gonna be doing what we do, and hopefully soon we'll show some results, and if the school district will comply,
yeah.
or yes, we already have. And another thing we actually might want to touch is about the prayer, legislative
Yes.
prayer. We brought forward a very important topic.
Right.
With the help of our legal team, we put together a resolution that we presented to the school board. And I think they still be working on that as of now. But what was so interesting that the county attorney, when he was asked questions, he did not bring up that court case that we based our whole resolution on. It's Grace vs. Callaway case that basically is overturning the whole consent decree that is behind why our school board members, they do not say a prayer before they start the school board meeting. So
Gotcha.
hopefully that will be overturned soon, and they're gonna start saying a prayer, because they definitely need to say a prayer to have that guidance
I mean,
from
it
above.
sounds like they need all the help and guidance they can get after, you know. And what's very disturbing is the process, the bureaucracy that it's going involved when you find these books and everything. It's kind of like they're standing up and they're fighting to keep it in there. Because if they really truly
That's how
care,
it looks
Because
like.
I'm telling you, Tommy, if I was school superintendent, I would be marching myself down to the
That's
schools,
right.
get my list, and we're pulling them off the
Right.
shelf now, ladies.
That's
We're
right.
not wasting our time.
exactly.
You know,
Exactly.
that's,
Oh, and that's what I'm saying.
Why make us go through these lengthy forms? You already have all the lists in
My thing is even if they say, well, I'm scared we may get a law, who cares? Do the right dadgum thing. If you get a lawsuit thrown on you, the community's gonna stand up behind you for one, because you did the right thing. Okay, I'm not worried about a little lawsuit when I'm doing the right thing. That crap is nothing.
Exactly.
So if they play that card, well, we can get sued by doing it. Who cares? Who cares?
that's
it.
What's
Not
more
only that, I
important,
mean-
money or your children?
Yeah, not only that, I mean, I'm 100% agree with you, but it's don't be afraid
Right.
to
exactly.
speak out.
Exactly.
Because in our hands is the future of this country.
Exactly.
Don't be afraid.
Exactly.
Exactly. You know, and we see what's going on across this country right now.
Oh, yeah, we're in dire
It's
straits.
bad enough. And can you imagine if this crop of children gets up there and they have this mentality already built into them?
gonna be the leader.
where we're gonna be at right now when they take over.
Right.
Yeah.
What's gonna happen?
Let me tell you something a little bit about my story. I
Yes,
came into the
please.
United States more than 30 years ago. And I'm from Venezuela, one of the richest countries in the world. Oil, gold, look what it is right now.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because the agenda.
Right.
Of course, they went to the many different ways to waste the country.
Mhm.
But you know what? The first one, education.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Education
Look what we are
always
right now.
goes first to take over the country. Education
Yeah.
always goes first.
So whoever could get out from there, yes, they did. And right now, the pressure over there, the living way is unbelievable.
Mhm.
I would say that we are worse than Africa, than India. People die over there because they don't have food.
Yeah.
Can you believe that?
Oh, yeah.
And we used to be
Heartbreaking.
the, oil
Exactly.
country of the world, the best,
Right.
okay.
Yeah.
I grew up, this is my first job. It was in oil company.
Mhm.
And the tourism, I met my first husband there, and I came here.
Right.
Great job. I had the opportunity to study, and this is what we want for our kids.
Yeah.
Be successful.
Yes.
Be
Right.
a leader.
How about
Focus in this country. This is a great country.
Live
One
American
of the best in
dream.
the world, believe
Yes,
me.
it is.
Because I was traveling around the world, and United States is
Right.
one, and it's still. So we don't let them to take this. from
Absolutely.
us.
You know, and what gets me is, it's if you look around, our people here, there's a lot of people here that hate this country. They live here, they're from here, they hate it. But yet we have
Really?
people all
You
over
like
the
it,
world.
right?
But yeah, exactly.
Communist China.
But yet we have people literally all over the world, including Communist China, literally walking across our border to get in here. It's that bad. Why are people literally dying to get here? Explain that one to me. So obviously we're doing something right, okay? So don't play this we're a horrible place, yada yada. No. If that was the case, people would be breaking down the oh God, what's it called? The Great Wall of China to get into China, right?
Right.
They're not, okay? They're coming really across our borders to get here. So,
Mhm.
you know, you're right. It's sad, it's scary, and you better be worried, guys. That's all I can say, because like this young lady just said, our education's the first to go.
Mhm.
And-
That's why
and
we
it's
feel
already
passionate
going.
about it.
Because look at other states, Chicago, kids can't even read. Graduating high school, how can you
Right.
graduate high school and can't even read?
Right.
They're literally giving them a diploma just to kick them out the door
Mhm.
and bringing in the next ones that can't read. What are those kids gonna do? They can't get a job, they can't read. So they're gonna be
Surely
living
they
off the
talk about
government.
gender
Government,
ideologies more than reading. That's
Right.
the whole
They're
agenda.
either gonna live off the government, or most of them are gonna join gangs or something like that and live a life of crime. So, do we want that to come here? Absolutely
No.
not. That's why you have parents like you guys
Mhm.
that it takes to stand up and say, "I've had enough.
Right.
We're gonna fix this, and if you don't fix it, you're gone." Okay.
Right.
And
Mhm.
to me, these school board members, this should be your wake-up call. Really,
Yes.
if you don't hear it after this, then
Mhm.
bye-bye. That's all I can say. And one chance is all I'm giving you, because like we've said time after time, this should have been taken off immediately. And for our
Exactly.
superintendent to stand up and say, well, there's a process, bullcrap. There's a process of me walking
This
down to
is
the library.
bureaucracy that they were saying on it. It's typical bureaucracy.
Slow
We
it
send
down,
them
wear you down, so
Exactly.
you'll give
I
up,
guess
so
they
you'll
think
just
you'll,
hush,
you know,
hush.
They'll throw it, and
Yeah.
next thing you know, you'll be in court. They'll just like, we gotta go to court now, and so you back off. No,
No.
bullcrap. Don't back off, no matter
So
what.
we send them, when we filled in those forms, we send them those graphics that we, together with the forms, when we filed that
Really? So they
complaint.
seen, they got, they
They
actually seen
saying
what was
that,
in
they
there.
did,
Okay.
and they say that Zara's Paradise, we attach those images to the forms so they can say what exactly disturbing about this book. And anybody else who saw that, we were all shocked, like,
Yes.
wow,
I couldn't
this
believe
was in
it.
our schools?
Is that?
In fact, we are
just
fighting for our
want the-
constitution.
Right, we just want the
Mm.
pornography out of the
Exactly.
school.
Yes.
And
What
they-
is so, exactly,
Exactly.
shouldn't be safe.
See, people move here because of the quality of the education.
Right,
Santa Rosa's known for the quality of the schools.
right,
Right.
Well, it's not going to have that kind of quality if
No.
we continue on this route.
absolutely.
Everything that a child reads shapes the mind,
Yep.
shapes the behaviors,
Yep.
and at some point will shape the leader of our
Absolutely.
nation.
You're
And
exactly
so
right.
I was personally told that you give me the list and I will take out the books.
Yep.
But I gave you the list. Now you're making us still go through all the steps of
Right.
filling out all the forms.
Right.
After they've
And-
seen what's in those.
Yeah.
Correct.
Right.
So like you said, why can't you just go take all those books out?
Mhm.
Here is your list. Why do you have to follow all these extra? We have a protocol, but now you have to go all these extra
And even
steps.
after filling those extra steps, those new forms, they
Now
still
there's
add an
another step.
extra
Yeah,
step.
extra
Well,
step.
Each
Yeah, you
with
gotta
an
it tells you
extra
right
step.
there that there's somebody that's out there just fighting hard to keep these
Oh,
kids
yeah.
in the
Yeah.
school.
At this
Yeah.
point,
Of course.
at
Exactly,
this
that's what I'm
point,
saying.
Tommy,
course.
It could be, you
I
go back
think
and
it's
look
the
at
leadership.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You go back and look at where a lot of the money comes from, all the teachers' unions and all that. The National Teachers Union that comes down and pushes all this type of agenda, Randy Weingarten, look at, I don't want to start, like I said, get too political with it, but look at where the leadership is, and you wonder why that stuff trickles down, all the way down to your local little schools, It doesn't matter how conservative you are, obviously, because this is the most conservative area in the state, and it's here.
Mm-hmm.
So don't live in a bubble and think this can't happen to you, because it's happening right here, right now. And if
You're
we
absolutely
don't
right.
have people like you doing what you're doing, who's going to stop it? Because even if a parent does find it and come across it, that's just one individual. Yeah, that's one voice standing up for what's right, but at the end of the day, that's one voice, one person. You guys have got an army.
We
Okay.
are very
Oh, yeah.
organized, and you're right. We do have an army. We're like
It's
over
nationwide.
200 people right
Yeah.
now, and we keep growing. And and we have a lot of school employees that all work with us. So, but the leadership is the problem. That's
Right.
who guides, and that's who's supervising it all. We're sending the emails constantly, and constantly it's a break wall with them.
Now, have you documented each time you sent all this stuff
Yes.
to which member and everything?
We'll send it. We send it. Our emails going to Karen Barber, the rest of the school board members, and Ruth Witter, who's that instructional technology
Yes.
specialist. So we basically sending it to everybody, and we always courtesy copy our Governor DeSantis and
Right.
Manny Diaz, the Secretary of
Right.
Department of Education, because
Well,
we want
and
to
see-
keep our team updated.
Yeah, exactly, and the reason I
We-
was asking about sending it to, if it's all of them, that way you can go back and say, you've been shown this, and you've been sent this X amount of times, and you still haven't done anything, okay, so what's your excuse? What's your reason why this is still on there? Why haven't you done anything? Why didn't you
Especially
protect our
with the
kids?
backing from our governor. He basically says it's openly he's all about parental rights. He signed some good bills, so they have a support from the state
Yeah.
to do that. There's nothing else would stop them unless they believe pornography is okay to be in the school libraries. Somebody must believe in that in our school district. We're trying to find out who exactly, but so far they all just very, very, they're not motivated to remove it. They
No.
just keep adding more and more layers of bureaucracy and
It
steps.
just goes to show you how much control the national level has.
Yeah.
They're listening to the national level
You're
over the
right.
state level.
Federal,
Federal.
you know how many federal
Federal.
grants they
They're
get?
coming this way.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. They don't care about what DeSantis says. They're listening to the national stuff. That's where their money's coming from.
Yeah.
That's where all the word's coming down. So they don't care
Yeah.
what he says.
Nope, follow the
They're-
money.
Exactly. Bingo, you
You're
got
right.
it. That's what
You're
I'm talking
right.
about. The teachers union and everything. Go back and look at what the things that lady Weingarten has said and stuff like that, and you wonder why our schools are the way they are. Like I said earlier, you have kids in other states who graduate high school and cannot read at an 8th grade level. Okay.
Mhm.
And yet they're still giving them high school diplomas. They're going to go out, live on the government tee, or keep becoming a life of crime, God knows what, to support whatever life they're having. Instead of being productive in society, getting good jobs, making this place better, growing a family, setting roots, it's just very frustrating. And at the end of the day, it falls back on our elected officials. They're
Right.
not doing their job. like we
They are
said,
the
all of us
representatives
said,
of the people.
exactly. Your job is to be, especially on the school level, school board. Your
Right.
job is very easy. It's not a hard job.
Mm-hmm.
Protect and defend our children.
But it's
Okay.
a very essential job.
Yeah.
You're right. This job must be done.
Right.
And they need to stand up. We live in a constitutional republic. They represent the people. They have very important job that
Yes.
they must accomplish.
You-
And especially getting information from an organization like ours, getting help from us.
Right. Now, let me ask, are you guys the only type of organization? I'm not meaning to promote any other group or anything, but the more organizations, the better at fighting this. You know,
Right.
is there any other groups like you guys out there and they're doing the same
we-
things?
We don't know about the organized group. We know a lot of individuals, as Debbie
yeah.
Gano, been advocating for how many years, and we told her,
yeah.
Debbie, you.
So thank God for you
Right.
guys, in other words. Basically, you are the only ones that are leading the charge, pretty much.
Right, right, and,
Wow.
mm-hmm.
Now, before we get out of here, how many states are you guys in?
45 states.
Okay, yeah, all
Mhm.
right, good. So it's very much spreading. So that's good news right there.
Mm-hmm.
So the
It
more
is.
groups that we have like this, the more we can expose what's in our schools and everything,
Exactly.
and maybe get something done and regain controls of our youth. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
This is a game that started from, in the top,
Yeah,
okay, nationwide,
and trickle on now.
go down to district. So now from us, we need to be from the district,
Bring it up.
Right.
bring it up.
Right.
And that's very, very much
Nationwide.
possible. Like you said, with 45 states right there, that's a heck of an army. Okay.
Yeah,
That's-
exactly, and we're constantly doing networking. We have an event in Philadelphia that
I've seen that right there.
Mhm. So
That's good.
we doing networking. We exchange our experiences throughout the states, different states or different counties.
Now, let me ask, with you guys networking with other groups, what other, I know this is a bit off Santa Rosa County, but what's the worst that you guys have heard of or seen about where, whether,
We have Most for Liberty from California. In fact, just recently met a lady from California, and she represents Most for Liberty chapter. They have much harder, bigger problems, but again, even though they much more woke areas
Right.
there,
Right.
and they really have fierce fighting back. Even in our state, we went to Tallahassee, and it was a legislative day in Tallahassee, and one of our Moms for Liberty ladies got physically attacked by the opposition.
I actually heard about that right there. That just goes to show you how some people, they take this stuff very serious. Okay.
It's a lot of.
You know, Tommy, we're fighting a spiritual battle.
Yeah, you're
Yes.
absolutely
We
correct.
are. We're fighting
You're
a spiritual
100%
Amen.
correct.
Saturday is absolutely
Yeah.
very dark. Our opposition, very dark.
Right.
And-
All right. I appreciate you guys coming down. You came all the way from where was it?
Navarre.
Navarre, all the way up to Shemuckla from Navarre. Wow, that was
Right.
Yeah, we finally got you here. You kind of got lost up here in the sticks, so we had to hunt her down. We got her here real quick, so we was able to get her on here. I
Thank you so
enjoyed
much
talking
for
with you
having
guys.
us, Tommy.
Yeah, it was
We
a
enjoyed
blast.
talking with you too.
Yeah.
Thanks for
We
helping us
appreciate
spread the
you.
word.
Absolutely,
Yes.
and this is going to be spread all over the place, and
We appreciate that.
we got some serious talking to do with some of our elected officials.
That's
I
right.
have family members that are on the board,
Mm-hmm.
and friends, and I'm a little aggravated right now. Let's just say that. That's the nice way to put it.
That's
So,
right. That's right. Well,
Yeah.
please come for the next school board meeting. We're gonna be there.
I will be there.
June 15th,
Okay.
and
9
our
a.m.
June 15th,
June
9 a.m. at the-
Central
at-
School.
It's a central school,
Mhm.
okay.
Not 9
No?
What time?
I think they
6?
start at 8, and then the next one is 9. I think
Oh, it's
they-
in the morning.
They
Oh,
start,
in the
yeah,
morning.
morning, yeah.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure, but we gotta double check.
Yeah,
and
we'll
check on our
double
website.
But I thought,
Yes.
Interesting, because normally it's in the evening.
Right, but they
Probably
discussing
because the
some,
schools
right,
closed.
probably
Oh,
they have
yeah.
some budget
Well,
discussion and some public forum too, when we can speak out about the investigations.
Good, good.
Definitely
So,
we need to be there.
so in other words, we need to get this out there and get as many people there as possible that can be there. Because the more people, we can pack that room with people that have seen this video and know what's going on,
Right.
you could put a lot of pressure on those wonderful elected leaders of ours and hopefully get something done. Wow, this has been very eye-opening, very, very informative, and scary, very scary. But you know, sometimes you got to be shook to death before you can realize what's going on. So you've shaken me to my core. Thank you for that. And one more time, throw out some of the parents. If your kids go to these schools, look at their books when they come home. Shemuckla Elementary is one of them.
That's right. Rhodes Elementary.
Rhodes Elementary. Any more you can
And
think of?
every middle school, every high school, basically, I will
Yeah.
check on every school in the district.
Okay, so
Pretty
guys,
much everywhere.
your kids are bringing home books from these schools. It's the library. Check them out, page per page. And if you see anything, you know anything, reach out to these ladies. What's your website?
That's right. It's momsforliberty.org/Santa Rosa County.
Moms of Liberty.
We
Okay.
also have
Yes.
a Moms for Liberty Santa Rosa County chapter Facebook page.
That's right.
Okay.
Thank you, Miss
Just go there.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you got Facebook, Moms for Liberty on there, and you can find it on there. It's not hard to find. Join them, follow them, and then most of all, come to one of the meetings and get involved. Get
involved,
Get involved. It's not hard. All right, guys. I'm Tommy
Thank
Nichols with.
I'm Clara.
Maria Calkins.
Brenda Stevens.
Angie.
All right, guys. Get to work.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.